Greetings and salutations, and welcome everybody to TOMTalks Live. I hope you've all had a lovely day. We're so glad you could join us, whether you're a regular or a first timer. Either way, thanks again for being here. I'm your host, Heath, the voice of Titanium Mike and Tex Arcana, if you're familiar with that other underground show we do. On today's show, I'm joined as always by my co-host and space daddy of Southern Tomfoolery, Adam Kelly, as well as our producer and mustachioed tech aficionado, Josh Richards. Say hello to everybody, fellas.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi. As a special treat, both for myself and all of you watching or listening, I'm also joined by the voice of Aaron Vance, the inimitable Zach Evans. Thanks for being here with us today, buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me.
What does that word mean?
Inimitable means you can't be imitated.
Okay, got it.
The one and only.
The one and only.
It's one of my favorite fancy make myself sound smart words.
Thank you, Heath. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, how are we doing today, guys? What's going on in your worlds?
It's a Monday, you know.
It's a Monday.
It is Monday. The boss is off for, she goes out of town tomorrow for a week and a half. So it's going to be a nice, easy work week for me. So I'm looking forward to that. Going to be plenty of development happening for the podcast during this week, you know?
Yeah. On the clock.
Nice.
That.
I hope your boss, he or she, doesn't watch the show.
Not this one.
Right. Oh, well, I would ask Zach what you've been doing, but I know what you've been doing.
I've been sick, man.
Yeah, you and me both.
Yeah.
We had our STF retreat. We finally got to meet in person after a year away because of COVID and all that, which was awesome. We had a great time, but we all, or not all of us, but most of us ended up coming back sick with something. Zach and I both had a really bad sinus infection and took almost a whole week off of work.
Yeah.
So even though we've both been doped up on Alka-Seltzer and whatever cough meds and stuff we needed to, it's been funny because me and Zach have had some nice bonding time playing Final Fantasy 14 and stuff because we had nothing else to do.
What else are you gonna do?
Right. It's
there's only so much shit on Netflix. Yeah.
Right. So it's been a weird combination of getting to hang out with Zach a lot, but we're both miserable.
We sound like shit on voice chat, you know?
Yeah.
But
I mean, just fun. Coughing into our mics and stuff, feeling terrible. But
yeah,
we got to play a lot of Final Fantasy 14 though, so that was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
So in my world, my sister Destiny just had a baby. So I'm a nephew again, or I'm not a nephew. I'm an uncle. I have a nephew.
Whoa!
Well,
what kind of family dynamics you got going on over there?
Sorry, I've been reading a lot of Greek mythology. It's all over the place.
Indeed.
No, but she had a baby, a little boy named Parker Tillman. She got to come home from the hospital today, actually. So that's good. Pretty soon I should be able to go see the baby, but because of COVID protocols and stuff, you can't have any visitors except the father and all that. So I've just seen the pictures. Haven't seen him in person.
Yeah.
But
hopefully you don't have to wait a year.
Yeah, right. We'll see, I guess. But he's a beautiful baby boy. Really excited about that. My whole family, that's kind of all we've been worried about and talking about. But
nice.
I'm just glad she got through. It was funny. I called her. I talked to her on the phone 15 minutes or so yesterday after she woke up from a much needed nap, I'm sure. And apparently she water broke, she went into labor or whatever, and she barely got there in time. She got to the hospital and 35 minutes later that baby was out.
That's kind of pretty close.
Yeah.
That's down to the wire.
That's also best case scenario, very short labor.
In terms of not having it long,
not protracted, just squeeze out a baby real quick and done and done.
Yeah, she's a trooper, dude. I'm proud of her. But she had a natural birth, and a lot of people are that's their thing. It's no, I'm gonna have a natural birth, and a lot of people say that until the pain actually happens. They're no, give me the drugs, doc. And like she was like, they were cutting it so close. It was like, it's too late. Like, I'm sorry, you have no choice but to have a natural birth.
This shit is happening.
Right. She was like, I didn't want a natural birth. Because a lot of people do. No. I had no interest in that, but I had to have one. So
she's got the, the Medal of Honor now. She can put on her chest, basically.
Achievement unlocked.
Yeah.
Well, and it's her second kid. So like, I've birthed no children.
No woman. You're no woman.
I'm no woman. But I mean, from what I understand, a lot of the time, like the second one's a little bit easier, and that seemed to be the case for her.
Well, congratulations to you and to Desmond.
Yep.
Indeed.
So other than that, and my sickness or whatever, I was gonna say, like I know I had talked about, I started my Lord of the Rings journey, kind of finally knocking that off my bucket list. But I finished the Two Towers. I crushed The Hobbit and the first two books, and then like I immediately got distracted, and I listened to like the entirety of Mythos by Stephen Fry, which is just fantastic. I've always had like a casual interest in Greek mythology, which is why I mentioned it already probably twice. But it's like such a palatable, easily accessible way to like get into those stories in like a linear way.
Yeah, and then with Stephen Fry narrating it,
he's just a joy, man.
Yeah,
he's such a delight.
Yeah, he's really great.
And I've already got the second one and started it. So once I finish that, I'll get back on Return of the King.
Well, Heath, I don't think I can talk to you until you've finished.
Yeah, I was under the impression that you already finished Lord of the Rings before we did this. So
I mean, that's why we delayed it.
I thought that's why we.
You don't have to apologize to me, is what I'm actually saying. Like, I'm not gonna like hold your feet to the fire to finish Lord of the Rings or anything. Like, man, you read or listen to whatever you want to.
No, that's our good buddy Dane's role.
Oh, true. Yeah,
I'm sure he's very disappointed. But I mean, I've been crushing some books, dude. I don't want to hear it. Like, I've read so many books this year already. Just like,
man, I've read so many emergency management plans this year, bro. I'm talking about a bunch of them, dude. So
really crushing it. Huh?
Yeah, I haven't read a lot of books. I stare at like very, very dry plans all day, every day.
Well, I'm proud of you.
You want to hear about what I'm currently working on?
No.
Okay.
We didn't bring you here to talk about that, Zach.
That's fair. Yeah.
I mean, it's much appreciated. We know that you're doing solid work over there at Mima, but I think we got to get into what we're here for. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the first thing we need to talk about is Southern Tomfoolery's news and like sort of month in review. And as I said, we had our STF retreat, and that was it was just nice to see all of you in person, sit around a table, listen to some music, get drunk,
Weldy and Trevor played disc golf.
Just have a friendship. Yeah. Yeah. Weldy and Trev played disc golf. I almost came back and beat Adam.
Almost. It was close. It was close.
Yep. I eagled the last 3 holes, but it was one shy.
Yeah, I followed you guys around for that one, and I didn't play, but I caught you on the back 9.
Yeah. You hit us up like right at the back 9.
Yeah. I just like, I don't know. I didn't feel like going out, but then about an hour later, I was just bored. I was like, Josh was asleep, Emily was asleep. I was like, I'm gonna go find the boys, and caught you in the back 9 and got to spectate. And I do want to say the most exciting part was when Heath almost came back on Adam right there at the end.
It was like the last 3 holes. Like I was like, shit, am I gonna let this 8-stroke lead go?
You just about did, yeah.
I know.
Yep. I was really excited that I did so well at the end, but I was like, I'm super competitive, so I was like, son of a bitch, Adam, like I can beat you. I can do it. And I was like dinking off trees, like the first 9 holes, I was hitting every tree.
If I had just got the disc in there a couple throws earlier, I would have beat you.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. If I hadn't hit the tree every time,
you're absolutely right.
If I would have just played better, I could have beaten you.
Patronizing though you are, that is correct.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like it was just nice getting to see all you guys again. Like it's weird having a year go by where we're never in the same room. Mm-hmm. I mean, I had seen John and like I had briefly seen you, Adam, a couple of times in Hattiesburg.
Mm-hmm.
But like we used to, make a habit out of like every month or two, like a little, like that's what we first started calling our STF cons before we actually had an STF con.
Right.
Yeah.
It was just us getting together, but there was productive.
Yeah, it was. And that's going to tie into kind of the next point that I had, which is the game that our good friend Zach here is going to run for us, which we
thanks
did
to
announce
all of you.
Yeah, thanks to all of our wonderful and generous patrons. But which we did announce the title for. We finally dropped the title for the new show, which will be Live and Let Fly.
Yeah, if you haven't heard the most recent episode, this will be the first time you've heard that then. But yeah, Live and Let Fly. I love it. I'm a big fan of it.
In typical Adam style, he presented us with about 35 different name ideas. Mm-hmm. And we all just kept going back to like, no, I think Live and Let Fly like captures it better. Like,
Live and Let Fly was like the first one on the list. Yeah, and I just kept adding more, but like all it did was
go with your gut, man.
It just solidified Live and Let Fly, and we also have a little bit of artwork, right, with the new show logo. You got that ready for us, John?
Oh yeah, it's up for you, bud.
Nice. I can't tell this shit's all delayed,
I'm so excited for the Dale Earnhardt colored theme that we have for this. It is just, those colors just work. Like there's reasons people use, black, white, and red all the time. They're badass. Like
the white stripes made it happen for their whole career.
It was their entire aesthetic,
Right.
I don't think about Dale Earnhardt when I think black, white, and red. Well, think about the white stripes.
I suppose I'm a little more southern than you are.
Yeah.
Sin City as well. Yeah. As
Sin City.
The real Jay
they're just powerful colors, like and there's hundreds of different things that use that aesthetic and for good reason. It just looks good. And I think it sets a good tone, like as differentiating, it's a new show. It's a different vibe from the kind of, more space blues and purples of the first Southern Tomfoolery show that we had, and then the colors of the APA, which is more like orange.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited to get to play.
Yeah.
Zach, how are you feeling about taking on the GM chair?
I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also like, a little nervous just because.
I feel like you could have just stopped right then and went, aye. And it's like, all right, I now know how you feel.
Yeah, that's it in a nutshell. The difference is, and I'll just be really candid with you guys. The difference is when I GM'd our Curse of Strahd game, the only people who were watching or listening were us. Right. And this is like, you're going to have a lot of people on the internet that you don't know or don't know anything about who will be critiquing your GMing style, maybe not to your face, but behind your back. And there's so much anxiety and dread that goes on with that.
That's the trick, is you just don't worry about it. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah. Okay, cool. No problem.
Just
done.
Choose to not
consider it done,
Zach.
Yeah.
Listen, just don't be sad. Okay.
Yeah. Just stop it.
Oh, you have depression? Don't be sad. Why are you sad?
Stop it.
No,
for one, you'll have us giving you feedback if you're doing something really egregious. So you don't have to worry about like blindly charging forward doing something dumb. And
we'll stop you.
Yeah, we'll catch you on that. And then two, like, man, the people that listen to us, they're about it, dude. They're gonna be good. They're gonna be good with it. They're looking forward to it. It's the same crew, It's the same energy. It's just gonna be a different vibe, right? Because you're in the driver's seat. But like, you're gonna be just fine,
dude. You're gonna pass your vibe check. You're gonna be fine. All right.
Yeah, it's not that I think that I'm gonna like get in there and just fuck everything up. It's that even if I do well, you're still gonna have people on the internet discussing it and critiquing you and all of that kind of stuff, which is just a different.
It is a different monster.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I will say, and I think, Adam and I are in the unique position of like, we were in your Curse of Strahd game, right? Like we've had you for a full campaign as a GM.
Right. Yeah.
And you did a great job, and you gave us the room and the tools to make our characters flourish and be really meaningful. I got really drunk and cried one time, like.
Was it just once?
It was just the once.
Yeah. I mean, that was pretty.
So I'm thinking, here's how I reassure myself. I will never be as bad of a GM as from. So there's only room to go up. You know what I'm saying?
Savage.
If that's the floor, I can only go up.
I didn't have my ham horn pulled up. Jesus.
Jeez, Louise. Strike that from the record. Well,
Okay.
the point is that you'll be fine regardless of that. You know what I mean? Like,
Old Scott say, cut the mic.
yeah. Well, that's, there's a reason why we only bring Zach onto the show every now and then.
I know. Yeah.
He's just too much of a savage, dude. But that's why I love him.
Yeah. Well, that's why you're nervous, Zach, because you're worried about people like you coming at you. That's what you're really worried about.
Yeah. And rightfully so,
And you're worried about people like us. Like, I don't think you're worried about you fucking anything up. You're worried about us fucking things up.
Well, y'all are going to, no matter how much prep I put into this, you guys are going to completely derail all of my best laid plans.
I would never do that. I would never.
Adam, there's a precedent for you doing that, sir. Okay.
You've done it before.
Yeah. Yeah, anything that happens bad is just we're going to take out in post. The episodes will be 25 minutes long by the time we get finished trimming down the bullshit.
I mean, I'm sure that's what Adam thought too when he started this thing, but like, we don't have any 25-minute episodes.
Well, the fuck uppery is what makes the best episodes. You know what I mean? Like, that's when it gets crazy, because it's like, all right, well, y'all done stepped in it now. Let's see how it goes,
Yeah.
I mean, here's the good news for you, Zach, is that you now have a whole table of Starfinder players who are familiar with Starfinder, have been doing it for a while.
You got a bunch of veterans.
Yeah, I mean, so like, and we've all been podcasting now for
2 years.
2 years. It'll be like 2.5 by the time this thing gets started. And like, so there's a lot of those early mistakes we've learned from already, I think that, to start with, I don't see Live and Let Fly having that first 3 episodes of, well, just got to get through those first 3 and then it gets good type situation. I think we'll be able to kind of
got to get through those first 20 episodes of STF and it gets good, man.
Like once you hit episode 45, it's really...
They really hit their stride in the 50s.
Right. Yeah. Just wait till you get to episode 115. That's the juice.
Not until we get to Prison Gulta do we really pop off.
To answer your question, Eric, I will not be starting with a Starship Combat. I don't think that's a trend that I want to continue in Fly Free or Die. So, no.
Yeah. I mean, no.
What
is there any little bit of teasers that you can give us?
Like what?
I don't know.
I
don't know.
I did like a whole plot teaser on an episode intro.
Yeah, that's true.
A few weeks ago.
That's true.
I mean, like, what do you want to know, man? AMA.
I don't know. Well, we're not going to do that. We're not going to open up an AMA.
See, old scratch. So the thing is, man, the AP is not really about starships. That might be a little bit of a misnomer, because it's really about, a crew of working class space truckers, not so much about like starship racing or anything, right? Like it's
trucking ain't about the truck, it's about the journey.
That's right. It is 100%. Right. Yeah.
It's about the road.
It is about the road. Yeah.
Well, we do have all of our characters picked, but we're not going to give you any information on that.
You're not getting that yet. But that was part of what was so cool about the STF retreat that we had, is like that Saturday night, like we made a point, instead of recording an episode like we were going to, we were like, well, if we're not going to do that, let's really workshop these characters and nail it down. And it was nice. We spent hours and hours doing that. And I think I can say for all of us feel a lot better about what we've got going into it.
Yeah. I'm overall pretty happy with the crew, and it's, started turning my wheels in terms of how to integrate them into the story and things like that. I will say one thing. What is very convenient about Fly Free or Die as an AP is that there are built-in narrative hooks for each individual character that ties them into something larger within the plot.
That's cool.
Which you let your players pick which one they want of a list. And that way you don't have to jump through hoops as a GM trying to find some way to make your player's outlandish character idea work within the plot. It's baked right in. So that's really neat. And I appreciate them doing that work for me. It's going to make my job way easier. So
yeah,
that should be fun.
Well, and it'll just make the story feel more connected to, and
yeah.
What's cool is that we kind of figured out how we're going to start in the sense of the crew and what that dynamic is going to be to start with. And I think we got a cool idea with that. We got some cool ideas about how we're going to do the lead up to the first episode with character introductions and stuff like that. So I think, the excitement is starting to get real, and we're going to try to get this thing going pretty soon. Hideous Laughter is putting out their new show. So we're definitely going to wait till after they get through their launch to do ours, just out of respect for our good friends over there and out of respect for y'all's listening time, because they're going to drop 3 episodes right off the bat. So we don't want to be trying to smash all that in. But shortly after that, you can expect Fly Free or Die to go live, I think. I mean, this summer for sure.
This summer 2021 is the tentative release date. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a summer blockbuster, really.
Yeah, I was going to say, summer is the season for blockbusters.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're hoping this thing's going to be.
That's it, dude. $6 billion opening weekend.
$6 billion?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, if we make $6
considering
billion
our budget, that's a huge profit.
We'll do STF Con every month.
Yeah. A $6 billion Patreon tier.
Yeah. And we'll do Sonics during that too. So
yeah, $6 billion for sure. We have to do Sonic.
If we did $6 billion Patreon tier, I will buy a starship for us to live on.
Right. Let me holler at Elon Musk. Let me get in on that SpaceX.
For $6 billion, you better, like BPT said, you better dropping episodes every day.
Right. Well, I mean, that'd just be our life. Then we could all quit our jobs and then some.
Yep.
Anyway, it's never going to happen. So let's
so
come back to reality.
Attitude.
We work on fantasies here, right?
That's true. Right. Yeah. If we didn't have an imagination, we wouldn't be in this business.
You're right.
But yeah, so I mean, we're all really excited for what we can now say, Live and Let Fly, our new show. We're super pumped about it. I know, even if Zach has a little bit of trepidation about it, we all have the utmost confidence in him, and that this show is going to be, if nothing else, a damn good time.
Mm-hmm.
So aside from that, in terms of STF news and month in review, I don't know that it's news per se, but it is interesting. We're halfway through the APA arc.
We are.
We hit the halfway point pretty much, according to Adam. I wouldn't know.
Well, y'all, at the end of the last episode that came out yesterday, spoilers, they leveled up, and they hit 10, and so the APA is going to 20. So, in the scope of their story, we're at that halfway point, and we talk about it a good bit in the next episode that's coming out, I think 117 or whatever, but the episode that comes out next week where they're doing their levels up, we all kind of talk about it a little bit as a group, but just kind of from an outside perspective, we're halfway through this thing, 2 years in. And it's been crazy. We've done a lot in 10 levels, there's been a lot.
episode 200 party, J Pickle. We're not planning that at all. I'm sure we'll have one, but
yeah, that'll happen. But that's a long ways away.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm sure it will, but that's like, I mean, we're at 117 now.
Yeah.
That's
next
chunk
year sometime.
It might be 2 years, even a year and a half, something like that. I mean, we're at 117 now. That's another 83 episodes.
52
so that's a year.
It's
like a year and 9 months.
It's a ways away.
Why would you even ask that question, Jay Pickle? You just broke our brains. You can't do that. We're bad at math. Yeah, but halfway through, what do you guys think about being halfway through our first main story? Especially as we're about to start up a new one.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of crazy that we've gotten this far. Honestly, that we've been doing this as long as we have. It feels weird. It doesn't feel like 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's sort of been long enough that I'm like, yeah, I've always been podcasting a Starfinder show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't. It just
like,
feels
it's like in your life.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I mean, what about you, Heath?
I mean, it's been a long, strange trip. I don't know. A lot of highs, a lot of lows, a lot of what have yous in the old duder's noggin. I don't know. No, I mean, it's cool. Like, it does feel weird, I guess, to think about actively that it's been like 2 years that we've been doing this that long. But I think kind of to Zach's point, like, it also kind of makes sense when you think about it, because like, I think we all like identify so much more now as like podcasters and people that put out this show than, the first like 6 months or whatever. This was all new and we were just stumbling through figuring out how to be podcasters. And we've got, we've got a stride and got a routine now, which is why we can do a second show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know. Do you think that the second half is going to go slower or faster? Like, do you think
you think the second half? You're the one who's got all the notes, man.
Well, yeah, but like, I just wonder. I don't know anything about high level play of Starfinder. We've never done it before,
Right.
So I don't know if those combats like get slower.
It comes down to how Starfinder or how the AP deals with high level play, right? Mm-hmm. Like, do you throw a bunch of enemies at us? If that's the case, then yeah, our combats will probably be longer if nothing else. But there's also the potential, like, we're so powerful, we're just like crushing people with one hit, and maybe our combats are a lot faster.
Yeah, I mean, I know in like Pathfinder 1E, it's often talked about that it turns into rocket tag. So basically who can get their nuke off first. But I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the case in Starfinder. I mean, we'll see. It certainly can be the case because of just some of the spell capabilities that y'all will have, and then some of the monster, like their to hits and damage is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like looking at some of these things, it's like plus 30 to hit or some shit like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's going to be swingier, is what I think.
Yeah. I'm curious. I'm curious to see
more of a
how
focus on AOEs than single target damage is what I'm predicting.
Yeah. Well, I know that Devastation arc has some really it's a bunch of set pieces, particularly the second book, which is written by Eleanor Farron. And I'm really looking forward to taking you guys through that one. The first book is good. It's a lot of setup for the big story, but the second one is like just a series of crazy set pieces. And that's really where that Avengers vibe starts jumping out at me, like the things that y'all will be doing in that. So I think that those might go quicker than like some of the stuff we're doing in Signal of Screams, where there's a lot of investigation. There's a lot of like uncertainty, with Devastation arc, you'll know exactly what you're trying to do all the time. What I mean? There's not so much of a mystery about it. It's like, these motherfuckers are bad. We got to get them type deal,
Yeah. It's
So-
more at that point. We're like a SWAT team. Like go ahead and clear your objectives, kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of like that.
We're more like the Avengers, I think, is
Yep.
what it
I mean-
actually is.
Sure, you can use more than one metaphor.
Nope.
Nope.
Just the one, Heath. Just the one. We're sticking to it, man.
Okay. Yeah, I have no idea. I'm really excited about Devastation Arc in particular. I mean, I don't think that would be much of a surprise to anybody that that's the one that I'm like super looking forward to. But I mean, I'm just excited for high level play in general, like because we haven't done it, you know?
I mean, we haven't done it even in Dungeons and Dragons, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
We didn't do it in 5e.
I'm still excited for the resolution of signal screens.
Oh, dude.
We still got a lot more signal screens.
Oh, there's
to
a
go.
lot left. Yeah. And it's about to get chunky too, you know? Yeah, there's all sorts of goodness left in this. And to me, I love the mid-range because mid-tier of levels where y'all are at right now, because it's like you guys are super powerful, but it's not just like
Completely
ridiculous.
absurd. Yeah.
Yeah. Not quite deities yet, but definitely superheroes, you know? It's cool.
Awesome.
Anyway.
I
Any
don't
other
know that-
news?
I don't know that we're superheroes yet.
I mean,
But-
I would say you definitely are superhero level.
I mean, in a
Characters.
world where magic exists for everybody, like what is a superhero changes. But yeah, the last thing in terms of the STF news and sort of month in review would be that we did announce our next Patreon goal.
Oh yeah, we did.
Right. So our $1,000 Patreon
Gosh,
goal.
that seems so high.
It feels weird to say, doesn't
It
it?
does. It does. It is weird.
But it would be to make STF Online an annual event, and it'd just be a one-time goal. It's not like every time we hit another $1,000, you know, you get another STF Con.
Yeah, like we talked about doing like each STF con would be like at the $500 mark. You know, we'd do this one will be 1,000, the next one would be 1,500 or whatever. And we decided like that's just like let's just put it at a high mark now, and then if we hit it, then we're going to do it every year because we had fun doing it, but it is a lot of work. You know what I mean?
A lot of work. Yeah.
It was a lot of work, and we only want to make it bigger and better as we go. So like, you know, we want to be able to call people in like Jason Tondro or maybe even other bigger podcasts to come and do panels on the server and like those types we want to like really expand the experience. But in order to do that, we have to have like kind of the operating capital to get some of those things to happen. And it's just got to be, it's really about the time, you know, because holy crap, leading up to that, my entire month leading up to that every waking moment that I wasn't playing music in the band, recording an episode or at work, I was working on the con. And so was Veridux, I'm sure, and everybody else too, you know, but so that's why it's so high. But if we do that, if we hit that, we're going to do it every year and we're going to make it awesome, you know? So,
well, and in terms of like the doing it every year thing, instead of like every $500, like that lends it consistency. Like you want it to be an annual event instead of like, well, like maybe we go up significantly or we go down significantly, and we don't want to have to do STF Online 3 months after we just did it, or wait a year and a half. You know, like that consistency is what makes, you know, events build over time instead of.
And it allows us to plan our annual schedule
Right.
each year better of like what we're, you know, what is this year for STF look like? Well, we know not to schedule anything significant around April because that would be STF Con, you know? So, anyways, if I think pretty much everybody who's watching this is likely already a patron, but if you're not and you got a couple extra bucks, we'll shill real quick here for that. But, and you also do get a soundtrack for free. That's a new unlisted perk. But
That's that secret menu.
that's that secret menu. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, I think we'd all be excited to be able to do it again on a yearly basis because we did have a lot of fun. And it was a real growth, kind of experiment for us to see, like, can we pull this off? And I think it was very stressful leading up to it, but we all had so much fun. And then when it was done, like, there was a lot of relief, but also a lot of like pride that we had in like actually being able to pull off something like STF Online. So we all look forward to being able to do it again.
For sure.
So our main topic for the evening is poisons. So poison. Belle Biv DeVoe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so first of all, I wanted to take a second, and I mean, I think Adam will probably be able to help me out the most with this, to talk about how poisons are represented in Starfinder and kind of how they function mechanically.
Well, poisons are one of the afflictions, right? So it's
Right.
under the category of afflictions where diseases and curses kind of live. And they go down tracks, either constitution, dexterity. Let's see here. Let me make sure I get this. So like strength poison, there's a dexterity poison, a constitution. I mean, there's one for every.
There's one for every stat. I was looking at it
stat.
earlier. I didn't know there was one for every single stat in Starfinder, but there is.
I have yet to see a charisma poison, but I haven't really looked for one before. But like. It's I don't know. It's an interesting mechanic because they can really do a lot to you very quickly, like in a very short amount of time, versus like a disease which takes kind of days to
manifest.
Yeah, to fuck you up. This shit can happen in a matter of rounds, and so. Every poison has a way that you get it. Whether it's like, you get cut with something that's poisoned or you ingest it, or there's like a gaseous cloud,
Yeah.
something.
I mean, the first line in the poisons section is each poison has a delivery mechanism, right? So they can be very diverse in terms of that.
And there's usually a, like an onset and a frequency. So it says, how long does it last before, or how long before it hits you? So in the case of the Black Lotus, there was like a minute before it started. And so that's why there was a little bit of conversation that happened while y'all were talking. And then I was like, okay, now this is happening. And like, then once it happens, you start rolling saves per round generally with poisons. Cause it's they're quick. And, depending on the poison, depending on the DC that you have to hit and what typically you're rolling, fortitude save, but, depending on the type of poison, it might be something else. And each one has a different cure condition. But the problem is like most poisons, as you go down the track, it gets harder and harder to save against the poison that you're trying to save against, particularly if it's constitution based poison, because right off the bat, it drops your fortitude save, and, man, oh man, can that get nasty quick.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's, to me, probably the most interesting aspect of poisons mechanically is the track that you're on is that it gets more difficult to save. Quite often you need to make like 2 consecutive saves or something like that. Like, it's not that you have to save like 6 times, right? But you've got to do in a lot of them 2 consecutive saves, which is already hard enough. And it just gets harder every single turn that you don't save,
Right.
So I think it's a really interesting and unique mechanic. I know I was looking through the poisons and most common was like it's 1 per round for 6 rounds of like going down the track, but there's some that are 1 per round for 4 rounds, and there's some weaker ones that are only 2 rounds and stuff like that. But most commonly it's 6 rounds. So I mean, if you fail 4 times in a row, like you've got to get those 2 consecutives at the hardest point possible to get 2 consecutive saves.
Right. Well, and the thing is like the one interesting thing about poison is that it does run its course through you, right? So at the end of 6 rounds, if you haven't saved, okay, you don't have to keep saving, but whatever condition you're in at the end of that, you're there until you get like medical treatment, you know?
And the problem is when that last state is dead.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And you're dead. And the thing is you also take damage every time you roll on a poison.
Well, and I didn't know until I was looking over this before the show how the damage was calculated and that it was the DC -10.
Yeah.
And some of those DCs are really high.
Yeah.
You know, like a 26 -10 for the Black Lotus.
Yeah.
Still 16 points of
16
damage.
points of damage every single time, and it's for 6 rounds.
Seriously. Know? So like even if you don't die, maybe just the damage from the poison itself gets you, you know?
Yeah,
and
or knocks you unconscious. And well, so answer me that. Say you were already low on health, and you get the Black Lotus extract poison, and it knocks you out, but it knocks you out 2 rounds into the 6 rounds. Do you keep progressing if you can't make saves?
Well, you would make saves at whatever minuses unconscious gives you, and you would still take damage. So if you're unconscious, you would lose resolve points. Those would start ticking off, boom, boom, because you're taking damage during the turn, right? And so if you're dying and you take damage while dying, you lose a resolve point. So yeah, I mean, you could just die outright from the damage, you know.
So the Black Lotus, I know we keep talking about that one for obvious reasons. Each poison has a type, right? So like there's some that are like poison injury, so like you got to get cut or whatever. But this one is poison contact, so that doesn't mean it necessarily has to be ingested. Like if it's contact, I would assume like you could just have it like rubbed on you.
Yeah, I mean, so there are specific like mechanics for that. I don't have that right in front of me, but yeah, I think with contact, it's basically just if you touch it.
Right.
It's like LSD or something. If you touch it, it absorbs into your pores and starts messing with you. Particularly with Black Lotus, I mean, I think it's often used as
as an ingestion method.
Yeah, because it's easily masked.
Right. Well, I only ask because it specifically says contact, and then I go down to, for example, to IDMOS, which specifically says ingested. Like that has to be consumed. So yeah, the contact, like you can just it's like poison ivy.
Yeah, it's bad.
That is terrifying.
Yeah, it could have gone a lot worse than it did for y'all when y'all encountered it. But is that the only poison you guys have experienced so far in the APA? I know there's been a couple of diseases you've been exposed to,
like filth fever and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. But I don't know about know if you guys have really experienced any other poison than that. I think there was potential for you guys to be poisoned when you were going through the mines, because some of the creatures there had poison on their barbs, but none of y'all got hit by it. So,
well, so another thing, like with the Biohacker having come out, is like they can specifically like use poisons in their weapons, right?
Yeah, you can shoot poison.
Right.
Yeah.
I would think, and obviously this AP came out like before the Biohacker came out, right? But I would think you could, if you wanted to, like to really beef up encounters or whatever, you could have like, some biohackers like start the fight with shooting somebody with poison, like a weaker poison.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of potential damage that can be wrought from an enemy with some biohacker levels that can shoot poison directly into you. That could be really dangerous. I won't say if that's something that will or will not happen, but it's certainly a possibility.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, the thing is like, it comes down to a degree to the economy again, right? Like the more powerful the poison is, the more expensive it's going to be to obtain. So
yeah. You have Black Lotus pulled up?
Yeah, I've got it right here.
How much is it?
It's 121,000 credits
for one dose.
It just says price 121,000, so I'm assuming for one dose.
Jeez Louise, man, somebody really wanted y'all dead.
Yeah, let's say Kay Henry spent a good amount of money, but like honestly, what's a few $100,000 to get rid of the people who would definitely going to fucking kill you if they get a hold of you?
Right, right.
Yeah, I mean that's about what you'd spend gearing up a level 10 character.
Yeah, because the economy is so jacked.
Yeah, I'm just being super salty. But there are, more reasonably priced options that can still do a lot of damage. I mean, Blue Winnis is a level 7 poison that's only $1,000, and its track goes from healthy to weakened to unconscious.
Yeah, Blue Winnis is definitely a poison that I've seen about. It's a little bit
which
more
it's a one save cure though.
Yeah. It's a little bit easier to fight against,
Yeah. But it's good bang for your buck if they can't save against it.
Hey, and if you're a GM, money is no object. Hit them with the Black Lotus level 3.
You do whatever you want. Yeah.
Load up your level 1 Biohacker enemy with some Black Lotus.
He's well funded.
Yeah, throw it at your level 1
They
party.
don't know.
See what happens,
Yeah, they say Starfinder isn't deadly. Well, try that strategy.
Yeah, we broke it. We figured it out.
Well, I think Adam had made the comment is like, we've caught a lot of flack for that reputation that Starfinder has, but it's like, okay, that's how it can get deadly. Is like the poisons can be really, really brutal in this game.
Well, just the condition effects in general. If you pile I know I've beat this horse to death in other conversations, but if you pile on status effects and then introduce something like that, it can get deadly very quickly. Yeah. It's hard to kill people trading blows in combat.
Well, because of Resolve. Because of Resolve and level 1 spell of Stabilize. I mean, there's just so many ways to mitigate damage-based death,
Mm-hmm. But you can kill a Starfinder character. You can. You just got to get... The thing is, you got to use blue and black magic when everybody wants to use big green stompies and red aggro. You know what I mean?
And that white healing, don't forget. That's your jam right there.
Yeah.
That's the shit I got to be fighting against is your stacked ass white deck, Your
boy Orin. I mean...
Yeah, Bippy T brings up a good point. He says, does that mean there was $500,000 in there? Like, to have enough doses to poison as many members of the party as...
Well, that's one thing I'm not sure about, right? Is like how many doses do you get out of one vial of a poison, right?
Yeah, when it may work like clips, you know what I'm saying? Like ammunition, like you get a clip, it's got like 8 bullets or 12 bullets or whatever. So like you get a vial and it's enough to poison 4 or 5 people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, and to Sir Newt's point, he was wondering if they could have sold Orin's undrinking wine for a good bit of credits. I think we actually answered this in the episode, but the poison becomes inert or no good after, an hour.
Yeah, after a short amount of time.
Yeah. Because I think Ziva tried.
She tried to do that.
Yeah.
She wanted it. She wanted to get it really bad. Yeah.
She was thinking ahead.
So go ahead.
I was just going to say, that's one thing. I obviously hadn't spent a lot of time looking at poisons. Like my character is not a person who would use poisons that much. But it's funny. I feel like I should have spent more time looking at poisons and diseases. Cause I remember when we first started the podcast, a big part of why I built Mike as a very fortitude based character was I was so scared of poisons and diseases because of the glass cannon.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm getting a good fortitude, but I never went beyond that and actually figured out what all the poisons were and really how they worked. And now that I've spent a little more time looking at them, I'm really impressed by how diverse they are and how many different poisons there are and how different they each function,
Yeah. I just like that there is a track for every single stat and they all have different scales, whereas like your constitution poison, healthy, weakened, impaired, debilitated, unconscious, dead. But a dexterity poison is healthy, sluggish, stiffened, staggered, immobile, dead. And a charisma poison is healthy, weakened, impaired, pliable, catatonic, dead. Yes. So like in each step of that is a different thing. You know, it's not the same sort of negative effects all the way up the track for every one of the stats. Right. They all have different effects. Some of them, I don't know, I think could be really interesting the way they turn out. You know, like your intelligence poison track, the third step, is animalistic. Mm-hmm. You know, so like you just like lose all of your intelligence and your ability to rationalize and stuff like that. Really, really interesting to see how that might play out.
Yeah, I mean, it can really, really fuck up a party's mojo. You know, if somebody just like, I don't know.
Well, and then wisdom,
lost all their intellect, you know, and they were like an intelligence-based character. Imagine if Oren or Kuiper just lost their wisdom and intelligence scores.
Yeah, well, the wisdom is also really interesting because it goes to confused, which confused is like you'll just attack your party members, maybe, mm-hmm. you know? Mm-hmm. That's the truly chaotic one right there. But yeah, they're really cool, and I like that they, you know, I mean, they're diverse because real life poisons are very diverse. Like not all real life poisons work the same. Some affect you like gastrointestinally, and some affect you and you know, are paralytics or whatever.
Yeah. They suck though.
They do suck for sure. I wanted to talk a little bit about how they're used in the story, right? So like I did a little bit of research this time because usually Heath comes in here with like a shit ton of research and makes us all look stupid because he's got like all this really like philosophical stuff.
I did have a paragraph written, but all right.
Right. Well, like I'm ahead of you this time, and I was just about how poison is typically used in like the literary scope. You know, like it's often used as a symbol. Like the character who's using the poison is often poisoning their environment. You know what I mean? So like the one that I read as an example is Hamlet. So
you motherfucker.
Well, I got you. So Claudius, you know, if you don't know, Hamlet's about revenge. And Hamlet is getting
spoilers for Hamlet, everybody.
Right. Spoilers for Hamlet.
Watch out.
It's about a man's struggle to try to make himself commit revenge, but yeah.
Okay. Anyways, see, like this is what I'm talking about. Like this is what I'm talking about. Right? That's
Hamlet's like my favorite Shakespearean.
I know. I'm just trying to do a quick summary. So the son, his uncle kills his dad. Hamlet finds out from a ghost that it was poison, and so the whole rest of the play, Hamlet is losing his mind and becoming more and more consumed with revenge, to the point to where he drives everybody else around him crazy or to death. And then at the end, like basically Claudius, the uncle, kills the entire Danish court with poison because he's afraid that Hamlet's going to do it. And it's just it's a huge mess. And like everybody dies. And so like this invading army that was coming comes into a court full of dead people who are all dead by their own hands, you know? And so the thing is that Claudius, with his initial poisoning, poisoned the kingdom, the Danish kingdom, like completely, you know, on a symbolic level, right? Like everybody, like all the important people of the Danish royalty started losing their minds and causing the downfall of their kingdom. And that's typical through poison being used as a weapon. It's usually representing somebody who is also a poison to their environment, you know, not just the person that they're killing with the poison, but like they're poisoning something greater, you know, they're corrupting something. And so in the case of our story, it's interesting that the poison is coming from somebody who is corrupted, who has corrupted everything he's touched.
And is trying to corrupt his entire planet.
Right.
Potentially the galaxy.
Right. Right. And that there's somebody behind him poisoning him, you know, like,
Mm-hmm.
so I just thought that it's interesting that that's how poison came in, that it wasn't necessarily just some like creature that had poison tentacles or something like that. Like this was a very deliberate use
Literary
of
device
poison. Yeah. I think so.
Right. Yeah. And I think it's appropriate for Kaon's style, you know. He's going to do everything he can to not get his own hands dirty going up against the APA. And,
I mean, he's got the money for it.
Right, exactly. He's just going to throw money at it until he runs out of people he can throw money at. We're going to get him. I'm not worried about it.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. You messed me up pretty hard here,
Yes.
Adam. I was planning on doing the intro to this section, and you threw it all off.
Now you know what it's like to be a GM.
I mean, I have GM'd.
I know,
just not much. Yeah, I mean, but I mean, the kind of point I was going to make is that people in general, particularly in terms of storytelling, but also the stories that are history, even though they're real, like we've always had a sort of like dark fascination with poisons as people. And as I said, they played a major role in our history, our literature, as you brought up with Hamlet. But I mean, they go back to the beginning of like, as long as we've been telling stories, poisons have been a part of those stories, right? I mean, in Greek mythologies, Heracles poisoned his arrows by dipping them in the blood of a hydra. Socrates in actual life was forced to end his own life by ingesting hemlock. Hamlet, which I was going to bring up, there's 4 different instances of poison being used in Hamlet.
It's a lot.
Really interesting.
Poison is a theme of that.
Oh, it's massive.
Like,
yeah.
You know,
it also seems to be, and to go back again, a nobleman's tool. You know what I mean? Like it's like a tool of the aristocracy to avoid.
Well, I mean, I think that's
more visceral violence.
See, that's kind of a generalization though, because like it can also it's often used against the aristocracy, but not always by the aristocracy. Right?
Yeah, but a lot of times it's by other rival
all
aristocrats.
Like all the examples you just gave were basically lords killing other lords, or lords killing somebody that was getting in their way. You know.
I mean, Socrates was a philosopher,
right? But he was getting in the way of the aristocracy. That's why they killed him. You know.
Yeah.
But he the thing about that though is he knew he was getting poisoned. Like he
had to drink it himself.
Yeah, but he did it like a chant. Like he drank it and then walked through the forum well,
he died in front of his followers. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, look, watch this, you know, and did it. You know, he didn't go into a room or anything like that. He invited the spectacle so everybody knew, I guess, kind of what was being done to him and all that. But yeah, it's interesting poison because oftentimes it gets said in a lot of, I don't know if it gets said in actual life, but in a lot of literature you see it being quoted as a woman's weapon, right? That's
or a coward's weapon,
or a coward's, you know. And what is that? Because you're not looking in the face of the person, or as you're saying, Zach, it's less visceral or violent?
Well, yeah, because you don't have to actually get your own hands dirty. That's what I'm saying. Whereas there is the trope that exists, I think, among multiple cultures throughout history of honorable combat versus dishonorable combat. You know what I mean? Whereas honorable combat would be you have a duel, pistols at dawn or whatever it be. You're facing your opponent. They know you're facing them and you're engaging them with them being aware that you're engaging them and they can engage you back, you know, whereas poison, except in the case of Socrates, I guess, is an assassin's tool. It's something that's used to take somebody out while they're asleep or unaware or, you know, with no chance of recourse. Right. So that's why it's considered a coward's weapon. For a woman, as a woman's tool, I guess I would say that's probably because, maybe
because all of our literature comes from the traditions of the past, which come from combat societies, and women weren't allowed to do combat.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that and also the gender norms of the past, where the wife was cooking the meal for the husband, and that's how she kills the husband, right? Is through the food and everything like that. Because, so there's like a lot of like kind of, I guess, icky connotations with that now, right? That it's a woman's weapon. Well, that's because that was written by a bunch of men who said that this is what women are, So not entirely accurate, but it's also used, and this is a little bit of a touchy subject. So I guess a quick trigger warning about suicide, but it's very often used in literature as a tool for excuse me, for ending one's own life. And that, in those instances, it's often used as like a poetic device, right? You think about Romeo and Juliet kind of being the most, at the forefront of your mind example.
It's very Shakespearean tonight.
Well, I mean, it's poison, he was a fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's interesting too that it's used in that way a lot in literature too. So I don't know. It's poison is a strange thing because it seems so innocuous until it isn't, right? Like it's not a sharp blade. It's not a bullet. It's not a big maul, it's just a droplet of something, that doesn't even have a scent oftentimes, and it can just kill you.
Well, and it's the kind of thing that like if you're just like in passing, poison gets brought up, there are such strong associations in terms of like assassination and things like that you're like, oh, okay, like poison, boom, I have those associations. But then there are so many different ways and different like symbols that have been attached to it in very creative ways in literature, and then also really like manipulative ways that it's been used in real life, like the Jonestown Massacre. Which is a much more recent thing. It's like having a charismatic leader convince a bunch of people to willingly ingest poison. It's
with the Rajneesh who tried to poison the buffet
right
in the town. That was
political gain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's
a tool of cults.
Yeah, it's a cultish tool. Well, and it's a thing that can really be. Because it's so sneaky, it can be really used to like widespread damaging effects, So I don't know, man. Poisons, they're dangerous. They're rough. I don't ever want to be poisoned. Have y'all ever been food poisoned?
Yeah, it sucks.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is the worst.
It's horrible. It really is.
Worst. It's so bad. And that's my only experience with poison. I've never, Sir Newt brings it up that alcohol is also poison, but I would just call it an intoxicant,
Well, it's funny. He brings that point up. I was going to bring it up as well. In looking up like poisons or whatever, like there is the common, not even in jest, but common expression that like poison is in the dosage, right? Like anything can be poisonous in a high enough dose. Like
you eat too many bananas, you can die.
Drink too much water.
No, that was the example I was going to use.
We're just ahead of you.
Water,
we're just
right?
Boom, boom, boom.
But that's a great example. I mean, like if you drink enough water, it will kill you.
Right.
So like,
all right, this is unrelated. I've been kind of monitoring chat here. The real J Pickle says better Chipotle than Qdoba. I disagree. Qdoba's better.
I don't know. I've never had Chipotle in my life.
Anyway, please continue. I'm sorry to interrupt. It was important. It was important to me that we clarified that.
Yeah. Okay.
Derailed.
Yeah.
STF community, Civil War.
Yeah. Well, it's 8:00 now, so I guess that's where we're going to end it.
They're all going to start poisoning each other.
I'm so proud of you, Zach. So proud.
Thank you. Yeah, I learn from the best, Josh.
So before we go to our intermission,
it's poisoning you.
Okay. Cool your jets, man. I was just going to ask, we've talked a lot about literature and poisons in literature as a plot device or whatever. So do you guys have any other notable examples that really have stuck out to you in your, history of watching movies or TV or reading books that just when you think of poison, that's the example that you think of,
I mean, I said mine with Hamlet, so
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Hamlet, I think, is the most classic. Romeo and Juliet's another good one as
yeah.
well.
I mean, Shakespeare in general I associate poison with a lot.
I wonder if Shakespeare wrote a lot of poison deaths to avoid having stage combats.
Possibly.
It's interesting.
It's a very efficient stage death, and
That's what
it
I'm
can
saying.
be very dramatic. You know?
I mean, but he
Yeah.
also did stage combats. I mean, Romeo and Juliet had big stage combats.
Well, and Hamlet, actually, the way that Hamlet got
he
poisoned,
poisons
is
by a blade.
combat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was by
Mhm.
combat.
With
yeah.
Laertes, yeah.
He's
Yeah,
like, I got it. We'll use poison to avoid stage combat. All right, right stage combat to apply poison.
Involving poison.
I'm a pop in and say The Princess Bride.
Oh,
Princess
yeah,
Bride
that's a
is
great
that's
Another good one,
it's
yeah.
that's a fun example of poison, right? Like a very comedic example, which is not often how poison is portrayed.
right.
Game of Thrones.
That's
Yeah.
the two that pop up to me immediately are not the red wedding, the purple wedding in Game
Mhm.
of Thrones. But then one that sticks out to me that I don't think people really I ever hear talk about, but it was so unnerving because I watched this movie when I was a lot younger, is in The Sixth Sense. The parents that are like slowly poisoning their kid over time by like pouring like Drano or like cleaning supplies in his soup.
Oh, God.
You remember that in The Sixth Sense? And
I
like
blocked that out.
he finds out from like one of the ghost kids or whatever.
That's
awful.
terrible.
That
It is terrible, but that's why it sticks out to me so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Purple Wedding is really great, like visceral, like you,
Mhm.
and,
Oh,
well,
God,
and that's why I kind of
yeah.
wanted to ask, particularly with like TV and movies, is because like reading about it is one thing, like seeing, the effects of a poison on the screen, if it's well done, is a whole different visceral
like,
experience.
I was cheering when Joffrey died from the poison. When I read the book, like I was just like, yeah. On the show, like
It's fucked
at
up.
first
to
I
watch.
was, and then I was like,
Ugh, this
Ugh.
sucks. Yeah.
ugh, like this is
Yeah.
awful. Like I'm not cheering right now. This is rough to
Yeah.
watch.
For sure.
Anyways, yeah, you guys hit us up with your most depressing examples of poisonings.
Yeah. For real though, we do have Zach on the hot seat. So any questions you got for him, listener questions, be thinking of them. And we'll be taking them here in a little while.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. But yeah, so we're going to take our intermission, and when we come back, we're going to talk about one of the Starfinder iconics.
Neat.
Yeah.
And also listen closely to the end of the music that's playing because going to get the first taste of the Live and Let Fly theme.
Nice.
Yeah.
Welcome back for the second half of Tom Talks Alive 5. The obligatory excited Tom Talks Alive. Alive! Everybody give me one. Give me a lives in the chat.
Let's get them alives in the chat.
So we talked about poisons in the first half and some of the goings on for the podcast in general. To start off the second half, we were going to talk about one of the Starfinder iconics. But before we get to who that is, let's talk a little bit, in case people don't know, about what are the iconics, right?
Is this a new segment, Heath?
I would like for it very much to be a new segment. It may take us a good while, since these are once a month and we might not do one every month, but eventually I would love to do, kind of a small exploration of every one of the iconics. And so far there are 10 of them. I imagine there will be more as new classes come out.
Sure. Yeah.
But first,
guarantee that.
Right. I will damn near guarantee it. But first of all, like I said, let's identify for anyone who might not know what an iconic is, right? So the iconics are basically characters that Paizo has made for Starfinder, who exist in the lore, are in canon characters, that are examples of each class, right? Like the biggest thing is that there's one for every class in the game. They may or may not have like overlapping, races and stuff like that, but every one of them is a different class. What are we drinking to? Oh, my beer. Oh, sweet. Well, I just finished my beer and I don't have another one on me. So
that's a fail.
I'll dab to it. But yeah, so the iconics are a really cool kind of experiment for Paizo to show like what they would do with a character. Or what a good example in their eyes of a class would be.
Well, it's kind of like their lore. It's like kind of their lore versions of their classes.
Right. It absolutely is.
Yeah.
I thought it's just a stand-in really for PCs, right? Because the iconics appear in all of the art, right? Like anytime you have an AP and there's a scene that they want to depict in art, the iconics are the party that gets depicted.
Right. So in your mind, you could certainly sub them in as the players that are going through an AP. Although in canon, that is not the case. It does not say in the canon of any of the iconics that like during the events of this AP or whatever this happened. Like they just have their backstory and you can imagine that as you will. I will say, I don't know how many other people may have experienced this, but they have Starfinder on Amazon. That you can, if you just really
on
need
Alexa,
a fix,
basically.
on Alexa. And I've played, I think 5 out of the 6 of them. And it's pretty cool little sub in for if you don't have, any TTRPGs to play that day, but you just want to get your fix. You can hit up your Alexa and be like, Alexa, let's play Starfinder. And you get to pick one of, I think, 6 different iconics to play as. And it's like a kind of a microcosm of what playing Starfinder actually is. Like it's you and like one other person is the party as opposed to a big 4 or 5 person party. And Dead Suns is what they have out, but it's not nearly as long as the actual Dead Suns AP would be. You can get through the whole thing in probably like 8 or 10 hours or something like that. Wow. Yeah. All 6 episodes, but it's a condensed version, right? Mm-hmm. But you can, you roll dice for skills and combat and all that. And it's a fun little experience, but if you're expecting to like it be an actual experience of playing a TTRPG, it's only going to be a half measure, right? Mm-hmm. But I say that because you get to play as some of the iconics if you do that, right? Which is very cool. I played the first time I did Obuziah, who is the Vesk soldier,
right? Yeah.
Right. But I've played 4 different characters now with Starfinder on Alexa. But so the iconics, yeah, like to Zach's point, you can kind of sub them in your mind. All the artwork is with them because they need to do artwork with somebody, and they're not going to imagine what your characters are. But yeah, they're essentially Paizo's versions of those classes that like here's an idea that we had of what a soldier would be or what a biohacker would be or whatever.
I think a lot of the fiction too centers around them. You know, like the little short stories that they write and everything like that. I think that they are oftentimes from a perspective of one of the iconics, and like I don't know. I think that they actually do exist in the Starfinder world in the sense that they have gone through the APs. You know, in my mind, I think the iconics eventually go through the APs. You know, and like I don't know. I mean, they're the examples used in the core rulebook, right? Like that when it does an example of gameplay, it's using those iconics as the examples of like,
sure. I mean, I'm just saying, I think that's kind of a matter of interpretation. Like, I don't think they've like officially said like every single iconic went through every single IP.
Well,
right?
yeah, they don't. There's no reason to officially state that, right? Because then you lock in like a thing. But I guess what I'm saying in my mind's eye, when I read an adventure path for the first time, I think about the iconics kind of going through it like if I were reading it like a story. You know what I'm saying? You know, because the first time I read through, I don't read it for mechanics. I read the adventure path.
Just yeah, what are the goings on of the
right?
AP?
And there's no protagonist. You know.
Yeah, I mean they're good placeholders in terms of that,
right? And they're in the artwork, so like you can very much imagine them going through these different situations, you know, and then you start thinking about, all right, so how are my players and their characters going to handle it and all that? But like, I think the iconics do exist in the kind of greater Starfinder universe lore.
No, they absolutely do. I just think it's kind of an amalgamous thing in terms of like trying to put a pin in like what officially happened. Right. I think BPT just said, I don't think everyone does, but I do think each AP has a set iconic party in terms of the art and stuff. So
they have the same. Yeah, they have.
It's the same for
right
iconics.
Yeah.
Well, and they are all they're iconics. Like they're all. Your assumption is that they're fairly high level characters. They're not level 1 characters, right? So it's feasible.
No, but there are like level 1 versions, level 4 versions, level 7 versions, and then like level 13, I think, because you can use these in like society games.
So absolutely.
So they have like the different tiers of each iconic. I think they have them built all the way out to 13. They might have them built all the way out to 20. I'm not sure about that, so I don't want to say, but like they do have them in different stages of their progression. So you would see like what they would take as they continued, you know?
Sure. Yeah. And I mean, they're very cool in that regard. I'm not sure what the official, what Paizo says they did or didn't do in the lore. What's more interesting to me is like what what Paizo chose to do with each class in terms of representation, right? Like how they chose to interpret each class. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of more the angle that I'm going for if we're going to be analyzing briefly like each iconic. Right?
Sure.
But let's talk about one.
We are. Thank you for that segue that I was gonna get to already. We're gonna do, and that's part of why I wanted to have you on for this one as well, Zach, because you've played some Biohacker.
I have.
And we're gonna do the Biohacker iconic named Barsala.
Yeah.
And it's appropriate because we're talking about poisons tonight. So.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I like Barsala. I'll just say, I'm
just gonna come out and say it.
Come out and say it, man. I like Barsala. I think she's cool. What my favorite part about Barsala is that in canon, she is Bill Nye the Science Guy with a YouTube channel.
Yeah,
that's like her background.
She is the Bill Nye the Science Guy of the Pact Worlds.
I mean, her show is called Dr. B's Science Jubilee.
Yeah,
that's the name of her show.
Right.
It's awesome. Like when I read that, because I hadn't read the Biohacker iconic until we decided that we were going to do this. I hadn't looked into this one, and I was just like blown away by this backstory. You know,
it's pretty cool.
Well, so being a fan of like lore in general, that I am, like I've gone on kicks where I like read 2 or 3 of the iconics at a time just because they're interesting. Like all of them have interesting stories. So, I mean, I wanted to take a step back a little bit and kind of figure out who she is from a more base level. So first of all, she's a Kasatha, right?
Mm-hmm.
The 4-armed, high forehead, always wear a mask alien race of Kasathas. She's actually one of 2 Kasathas. The Solarian iconic is also a Kasatha.
His name is Altronus.
Altronus, yeah.
Yeah, the one thing that I wish wasn't the case, though I understand why they do it, is that they keep all the iconics
core races.
Like I would like to see them branch out from that just as they continue to add character classes and stuff like that. But I get it. Like they're iconics, right?
They're iconics. They're not obscures.
Right.
But Barsala in particular is she's a Kasatha. They all have a stated alignment as well, right? And she is chaotic good, which I think is just really juicy for a biohacker in particular.
I think you have to be a little chaotic.
Yeah, you're chaotic good, neutral.
To be a biohacker because you're not like a physician you are literally fucking with genetics and pharmacology or whatever your study is.
Whatever realm of biology you're talking about.
Yeah, you are hacking biology, to put it right in the nose. It is not.
Oh,
no, you just figured it out. Yeah, proud of you.
So, you're not.
You're not going to be
sticking to established sciences, the flavor of Biohacker is that you are developing these things. This is like your own independent resource. You're a medical innovator, willing to, maybe break the rules, and that's the flavor that I went with from Doc Locke.
Well, you're working outside of like established regulation,
right? Yeah. But anyway, back to Barsala. What I think is interesting, and in her biography that's available online, you can Google Barsala Starfinder, pull this up. She has a prosthetic arm, one of her arms, and it's like
her lower left arm. Yeah,
a formative event in her life. I thought that, and I'd never seen this really, but the way they describe that arm is low left. One word, low left.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really interesting, a cool way that I guess Kasathas have high left and low left and high right and low right, how they talk about their arms. But she loses her low left arm as a child. And basically her whole community comes together to help her adjust to her new prosthesis.
Well, and to support financially the ability to afford a prosthesis, right?
Yeah.
Kasathas are pretty dope like that.
Kasathas are just dope, period. Kasathas a class, a race I really want to play at some point. But one thing that really stood out to me about Barsala, and I like that iconics are very diverse because they're not all lawful good or chaotic good or whatever. There's a lot of diversity among the iconics. But Barsala is a wholesome ass iconic. Like she is, as to Zach's point, sort of the Bill Nye of the Starfinder universe, like trying to spread education. Jesus. Did y'all hear that?
With that little dick?
No, the giant. yes. That's exactly what it was. A giant truck with a tiny penis. But she's the daughter of a renowned biotechnician and a respected priest of Talavet. So, I mean, a big part of her upbringing was the balance between religion and science, And
it's also mentioned that like during her upbringing, she was allowed by her family to really engage with these things, and like wasn't shunned from like STEM fields, for example, was encouraged and ends up becoming prolific, to the point where she has, like I said, she has a YouTube channel that's very popular. She has a show on the Infosphere, Dr. B Science Jubilee, as you said, that's where she goes around to different planets and things and essentially does like documentaries on the flora and fauna there.
Well, what
Pretty cool.
I thought was cool is that she basically started as a independent vlogger, and like her vlog or whatever got picked up by a more mainstream, studio or whatever. And it even says in her backstory now that she is a popular program throughout not only the Packed Worlds, but Near Space.
Right.
Like she's incredibly popular, you know?
Yeah.
But it's funny because before she got to that, she was like a highly successful, like research scientist, and like was doing really important, but like really focused work. Like it says here in her,
at a biotech firm.
For this biotech firm, and that she was pivotal in reducing implant rejection. Something that was obviously very close to her because she got the augmentation on her arm. And so she was like, made it easier for people to get those augmentations. Like that's her backstory. And she decided that wasn't enough. She wanted to do something for the community at large, and she's like, I'll make a couple TikTok videos and we'll see what happens. And now she's like a internet superstar,
Well, and inspiring like young people to follow their passions in terms of not only the medical field, but science in general.
Yeah. She's like all about STEM.
Yeah, I think one of her strengths that it mentions is that she's able to explain heady scientific concepts in an easy to understand manner, which is itself, that's a challenge.
That's
to eat ELI 5, like gravity and magnetism and things like that, and especially more advanced scientific concepts that would come up in a world like Starfinder.
Yeah, like I mean, explaining like string theory and stuff to kids. Yeah, I
mean, so Bill Nye,
Yeah, I mean, she really has that Bill Nye vibe for sure.
Yeah, I think she's a very, very interesting character. There's a lot of cool stuff.
Well, and it's cool to see such an interesting character that again is like so wholesome and like such a obviously like good person. It's easy to like, for the sake of trying to be interesting, be edgy, and to not take that route with a biohacker. I think it is an awesome strategy on Paizo's part. But I was going to ask you, Zach, having played some biohacker, so you have more expertise than I do, at least, So I was going to ask, what was your opinion of her in terms of representing a biohacker specifically, like the class?
So that's the thing, is that when it comes to explaining, not explaining scientific terms or whatever, I don't think that's representative of the biohacker. When it comes to like developing serums and things to help ease the prosthetic adjustment process, that is very much a biohacker type thing, is to be developing new compounds and formulas and things that will change your physiology in interesting and new ways that previously were unknown. And so on that side of her, yes, I think she very much represents a biohacker. Now, in terms of being Bill Nye on YouTube, like that's not, anybody could do that, I guess. But yeah,
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah,
not anybody, but not necessarily a biohacker specifically, is what I mean.
Right. Another kind of researcher.
Like any kind of scientist.
Well, so
a good eye.
Kind of to the point that you were making with biohacker, that I feel like there's a tendency to think of biohackers as working outside of regulation and outside of what is like ethically correct.
Well, yeah. Yeah,
but I think she's a good example of that's not necessarily the case. Like you can be an innovator in your field and still be very much legitimate and work for legitimate, organizations.
Well, you either have properly funded research or you're doing it on your own. Right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So like that's where the ethics come in. Like, okay, so is Doc doing something unethical because he doesn't have like some like proper government approval and funding for it? Or, what about a government funded project that's terrible for all living beings, like what the ethics is not in whether or not it's approved. It's in what the end goal of it is.
Right.
And it's all research.
But that's why I like Marsala so much, is because she's that sweet spot of like, she's doing the right things the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, I mean, cause I played, a Biohacker for a little bit, and for him, he definitely went in the like, all right, he studied science a lot, but like on the side, he's developing his own neurochemistry. You know what I mean? Like, cause he doesn't have the funding for it. It's not that he's like trying to be like shady or sneaky about it. He's a good character. Like, that's his alignment is neutral good. But like, when you're talking about doing the types of things that biohackers get the ability to do, like you either are like a government scientist, a corporate stooge, or you're like maybe breaking some laws to do the research you're doing because you just have no other choice, right?
Yeah, that's certainly how I play my biohacker, is that he's definitely ethically questionable in terms of, that.
You play your doctor a lot more like ethically gray, like, and it's great, like it makes for good dynamic, and
that was just how I thought he should, when I was reading about Biohacker and everything. Like, it's like in the name, it's.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of, I guess, where I'm leaning, is because it's biohacker. Like, hacking is generally not a like legal thing. I think the inclination is to, if you're making a biohacker, make a character that is operating outside of regulation or outside the law or whatever. And that is why I think Marsala is such an interesting way to do biohacker, is because it plays against that stereotype.
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so it's very like, she's got a cool backstory. It's not really morally gray in terms of what she does. However, like, I don't know, man, the fact that they're all injection experts, like you just get that trait as a biohacker, you are literally shooting a projectile weapon loaded with an experimental chemical compound, injecting it straight into people's bloodstreams. It's just, there's a vibe there, man. There
absolutely is, because it's like,
would you say it was a Shakespearean vibe?
If you're poisoning people, sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's the injection so much as the ranged injection, like medical professionals give injections of steroids and all kinds of things. But the fact that you're shooting people from 30 feet away with injections.
And they will always deal damage except to the people that you attune to your custom micro lab. Like,
right.
Literally the only reason that don't do damage is the space magic, you know what I mean? Specifically the people that you attune to, like even friendlies, if they're not attuned to your custom micro lab.
Magic. I just got to say that because they make a point to like say that several times. That it's not magic,
Right. I like to think that it's the degree of care to which you implement your technique. Like the people that you care about, like, oh, I know how to shoot them and not hurt them. People I don't care about, like, fuck them.
Fuck them. Fuck them kids.
Like, I mean, I'm hoping you're not shooting kids.
Well, the nature of the buffs and the debuffs that you're doing as a biohacker are definitely like manipulating DNA. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so like that in of itself, even if you're like a fully funded, approved researcher, you are still doing DNA modification.
Yeah.
And there is always going to be a question about should or shouldn't we do that, Especially
to non-consenting. But I mean, I guess like if you're willing to shoot at somebody to murder them, the ouchie injection.
I draw the line with my guns if they're shooting needles. That's just
right.
not okay.
Yeah. Well, and I guess that's, as far as Marsala specifically, that was kind of a question or just like a pondering that I had, is like, nowhere in her backstory does it talk about being a combatant, right? Like all of her stuff is like doing legitimate work, but she's an iconic, which the implication is that she's going in APs and being a member of a combat party, right? Mm-hmm. But that's not talked about at all.
But that's because it's a well-written backstory, because her most interesting stuff is going to happen when she goes to the AP. That just gives her motivation. She's a level 1 at the end of that background. And all of her like combat stuff happens when she goes and does an AP. Like that's a well-written backstory, in my opinion, because like it gives her motivation and it's interesting, but it's clearly not like her destiny or what she's, not the coolest thing that's happened in her life. Like, because of where she's gotten as a superstar, she's going to get called to go on some mission and get embroiled in some shit and then figure out her combat abilities, like as she goes from level 1 to 20 and whatever AP she's running that month.
Right.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, Barsala. I think she's a really cool character. I hadn't read about her before.
Do we want to talk about her? Like, I don't have it handy. Do you have her mechanical build handy?
No, I don't.
No, I just have her backstory.
Yeah. I just tried to download it, but it doesn't have the character operations manuals ones on it. So
right. Well, and I mean, like I'm not so much interested in that because like we'd have to take so much longer to do any of these iconic segments to like break down their narrative and then break down their mechanics or whatever. I'm more concerned with their stories. And in that regard, I think to Adam's point, she is a well-written character and a very interesting character. So it's been nice to be able to talk about her, especially as the first one. And I would like to do this segment more in the future. So those of you watching or that will listen in the future, let us know, like, what iconics are you interested in? What would you like to see us do sooner than later?
Yep. We'll probably definitely touch on the nanosite iconic whenever the official book releases and we review that book, right? So that would be a good time to do. It would
be a good time, but we're going to have a lot of information already.
Well, that's going to be a long episode. Any of the book review episodes, you just plan on those being long, but I think
we've covered Barsala pretty thoroughly.
I mean, if you're interested in Barsala further than what we've talked about, just Google, Starfinder Iconics and
let's
go
talk about
read
it on
her
Discord.
Story. Hit us up. Hit us up. We will have a continuing conversation about it for sure. Okay, so let's move on to some trivia questions.
Hey,
how you feel about that?
Ooh, trivia.
Yeah, so this will be our second trivia in our we do 3 before we have a reward, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the middle one. We've got Zach on, so I'm going to let Zach do our trivia, which I will go ahead and say is fairly Orin focused.
It's entirely Orin focused. That was, first of all, that was your idea, Heath, to make it Orin focused. I just want to point that out. However, let's get into it. Do you have the questions pulled up, Josh?
I
didn't write them down.
Yeah, I do.
So I vaguely remember what they are.
Well, no, I mean, I've got them in the show, so they're going to pop up, and I guess I'll just read them when they pop up.
Josh, do you have our standings?
Yes, I do.
Why don't you tell us our standings?
All right, so currently for this set of 3, as of episode 4, Newt has 1 point. Old Scratch Johnson has 1 point. Egg has 1 point. And I'm going to butcher this, but I'm going to try it anyways. Casacanet Kingy has 1 point.
Who?
Yes.
Okay. Well, good job, Casacanet.
Got the point, yeah. Got the point.
All right. Well, let's
Question 1, as Old Scratch says, who's the best character on STF and why is it Orin?
No, so the real question 1, I can read it off and then put it up. Give me just a second. All right. On which planet did Orin confront Evelyn?
Ooh, that's the easy question, y'all.
Get your answers in.
This is the easy question.
Yeah, Newt saying
we got our first answer up there, Castrophil. We got Akaton from Bippy T. Let's keep it going. Everybody get some time. Remember, it's the first 2 people with the correct answer gets the points. So You guys got a few. We're on a little bit of a delay here, so it's hard for us to tell. Galarian. All right. And Old Scratch Johnson with Acton. That gives us 2 correct answers. So, Josh, looks like Bippy T and Old Scratch Johnson.
The answer was indeed Akaton.
Nice.
All right.
You want to expound on what we were going to ask?
Well, I wanted to ask like the specific region where the mine was, but they thought that would be a little too tricky. So,
what is it? Well,
the Ideo Rift.
Oh, okay. What is it? I'm sorry, I was talking over
the
you.
Ideo Rift.
Yeah, Ideo Rift.
Yes, it's a massive canyon that spans a very substantial portion of Akaton.
Yeah,
it's huge.
I think that would have been a tough question.
I guess so.
All right, question number 2. This one's a pretty short, simple question. Who killed Orin?
Orin, you died?
Allegedly.
Oh, shit.
It's like I did, but I got better. You know what I mean?
Oh, right. I got better.
I got better.
We got Newt and Scratch answering.
The space pirate, Vince from Sir Newt. Y'all get him in here.
This one may have been harder. Yeah, this one may have been harder.
I mean, it's one of those things that you could have blinked and missed. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was only talked about in one line in one moment of an episode. Peanut butter cup man. All right. Winner.
I think that Sir Newt he's on the
Newt's on the right track for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I guess we're going to call it here.
I don't think anybody's going to get it.
I'll give Sir Newt the point. I'll give him the point for it. What do you think? It's your call, Zach.
Bippy T.
Bippy T came in last minute there. It's Vin, not Vince or Vance.
Your boy Vin.
Vance is Orin's last
Hideous
name.
Tomfoolery. Yeah, Vance is Orin's last name. But Vinny was the space pirate who shot Orin and spaced him.
That's the truth.
It is the truth.
So who gets the points here? Just Bippy T? Are we going to give Sir Newt a point?
Can we give Sir Newt a half point? I don't know. I feel like
let's give him a half point.
Sure.
Maybe a tiebreaker point.
Maybe a tiebreaker down the road. Yeah, we'll never know.
All right, we'll give Sir Newt a half point. Bippy T gets a full point. Got it in right there at the end. All right.
I don't think anybody's going to get this next.
This next question is going to fuck y'all up.
All right. So, question number 3. What was the name of Orin's delivery ship?
We'll accept one of 2 answers on this because it
could be one.
It could be. Yeah, you could make a case. Orin partially killed himself with his own decisions.
It is not true, Sir Newt. Like normally I would give Orin shit when I can, but that's just not true.
No, he was accosted by space pirates.
Egg with Marine, Bippy T with the slip and slide.
I think this one was a little too obscure.
The SS Chuck. I just want to see the answers we get.
Sir Newt says, I remember it was an Abadar Corp ship. You are correct.
That is correct.
He might get that other half point. And
you're right.
Make it a whole
ends up
point.
a full point.
No.
The SS Chuck Tingler.
Yeah.
The Pizza Planet truck. Oh, man. Sounds like you guys got to go back and listen to these flashbacks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It has been a while, to be fair.
It has.
Well, that's why it's the hard question. That's why it's the hard question.
The Doctor Killer.
The Gruntmobile.
The Gruntmobile. These are all great answers, but unfortunately, they are incorrect.
Josh, do we call it?
Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and call it. What say we give Newt that half point, though?
I'm going to give him the half point for the Abadar Corp ship. The name of that Abadar Corp ship was the Copper Carriage. And then the name of his smaller, like dropship vessel that he used was the Sierra Scout.
Copper Carriage, Sierra Scout. I mean, we even named them with the same letters, SS, CC.
Alliteration, man.
They both featured alliteration, sure.
Yeah. That was a tough question, though. We don't have a bonus question, I don't think, for this, do we?
No,
Not
I
tonight.
didn't come up with one. No.
But
Sorry,
we did give 2 bonus points, so 2 half bonus points.
Right.
1 net bonus point.
Yeah.
1 net point. Arwen's a Marvel character. It's canon. Not yet. Give me time, though. I'm working on it.
Getting there.
Yeah.
Apparently, you're not superheroes yet, even though you can blind people and heal people. And
Yeah, but lots of people can do that.
no, they can't though. Like you guys are at a level that not lots of people are at. You know what I mean? Like there's not tons of level 10 mystics running around the pack worlds, you know?
Compared to most superhero stories are based on Earth, where like no one but those heroes can do
planet.
it. Yeah,
that's one planet.
There's like 12 goddamn planets here.
We're talking about several universes.
There's like hundreds of people that
All
can
right.
do that.
Anyways,
hundreds out of trillions,
right?
If not more.
You guys are rare at this point. At level 10, that's rare.
Fairly rare, sure.
I love how you two argue semantics. Just for no reason. Just it's not even important, but
It's about the journey, not the destination.
That's right. That's right.
Truly. Well, now I guess that was the trivia, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I think we have a couple of listener questions.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of them. It doesn't look like.
Yeah, we got a whopping 3 tonight. Unless anybody else wants to slip one in right here at the end.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start out with one from Bipolar Pop Tart. He asks, "What's your favorite poison to have on a Friday night?"
I mean, mostly just beer. If I'm going in, it's going to be whiskey.
Yeah, I think I would have the same answer.
Same, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean,
easy.
Yeah, I mean, mostly. I'll drink a lot of different shit.
That's the thing. Like, I have no desire to drink vodka or tequila.
Well, like if it's my preferred, like I'll drink what somebody gives me. You know what I mean?
It's
like,
impolite, not
right.
But
like if I'm
unless
going
it's
out,
Malort.
I mean, I even drank that.
Yeah,
I drank the whole shot of Malort.
But did you enjoy it?
No,
you know.
But you're not supposed to. You're supposed to enjoy not enjoying it. Anyways, if I'm picking my night, right, it's going to be beer and whiskey for sure. Like if I'm picking my poison, that's what it is, without a doubt. It's not saying that's the only thing I'll drink, but if I'm picking, that's what we're drinking.
All right, next question from 10 Lawn Gnomes. What's the longest you've kept an ability in your back pocket before using it?
Oh my God, so long. Yeah, I mean, I'll pick up a spell, and there's a lot of spells because you can replace a spell at a level up, right? Yeah. There's a lot of spells that I've taken on Orin that I never used, and I just traded out because there was never even an opportunity for me to use it. I can't think of a specific instance where I've been like really sleeping on something and whip it out on it. I know with 5e with my druid, I pulled off that kind of shit a lot more. I think we had, what was it, meld rock or stone that I pulled out on Adam? The
thing is about 5e, and I guess like even any fantasy RPG, is that you have access to so many more spells, than you do in Starfinder. Starfinder, the magic is a little limited.
Right.
And so like I'm pretty aware of what your characters can do because like your spell list isn't that long, and it's spells, and you're taking the same spells over and over again, just leveling them up, So like, okay, I know you can Mystic Cure and I know you can Mind Thrust and I know they've gotten stronger, but I basically know how those operate, With 5e and the Druid spell list is insane in 5e. It's like so many spells. There's no way that I could like know what he's going to pull out, and he can pull any of them at any time. In 5e, you can pull any of them at any time. Pretty much. I will say in 5e, I played a Druid in Zach's Curse of Strahd campaign, and I held on to that heat metal
for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And that is still, to this day, my favorite 5e spell is Heat Metal. Like, it's...
that casting of it specifically.
No, Heat Metal is a phenomenal spell for the level of spell that it is. Like, I was reading articles that were like love letters to that spell the other day. But I held it out for a long time and finally got to use it on the boss. In terms of Starfinder, with Mike, I didn't get to use Bodyguard Vigilance, which lets me bodyguard multiple people. I was trying to use it for so long, but I didn't just have the right situation to use it for a good long time.
Yep. Absolutely. But when you used it, it was great.
Yeah, well, I've got to have two different people at least, like within 5 feet of me that are both getting attempted to get hit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'll say for my part, I don't have a lot of experience in this, but I sat on Speak with Animals for a long time in Hacky Sack Heroes because we've come across a few different animals and I haven't used it because I, as a GM, hate it. You know what I mean? Like, I hate it when somebody has Speak with Animals because it's like, okay, now I have to think of how this chicken is going to talk to.
No, that's literally what Heath did to me in Curse of Strahd.
I know.
Constantly. Constantly.
Right.
And it was some of the most fun that I had. It really was.
Well, we're glad you had fun.
Yeah.
You had fun too. You weren't GMing. Get out of here.
All right. What we got? Let's hit that next one.
Yeah, next question. This one's specifically for you, Zach, from Sir Newt. If any, what were some of Oren's childhood nicknames?
A-U-Ron.
Done messed
you
up.
done fucked up, A-U-Ron. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
That's all I got for you, Newt.
Okay. Let's see. This last one, I really want Adam to be here. I'm not sure what emergency he's just jetted off to take care of.
Probably had to pee.
Probably.
Oh, well, Josh. Let's keep it rolling.
Yeah, I guess we'll keep it rolling. This is still a question for you, though, Zach. From Old Scratch Johnson. Zach, what role do you think each player is going to take at the table? For example, the troublemaker, the RPer, the mom, the rules lawyer, etc.
Adam will be the rules lawyer for sure. I think that. Oh gosh, I mean, are those my options? Do I have to come up with other options?
Like come up with any. Like those are just examples.
Oh shit, dude. There's no telling. Heath is going to be the troublemaker.
I don't think that's true at all.
Yeah, no, you don't.
I don't
realize
think that's true at all.
No, what I mean is that you will want to do a thing that will cause big trouble for me without you realizing.
But that's not what that means. Like the troublemaker is not I make you annoyed at the mechanics of the game.
You're arguing semantics that have not been defined. So my interpretation of the troublemaker.
I think that's fair assessment, personally.
I don't think it's fair at all. You're just in the GM club.
Yep, I am.
The troublemaker is making trouble that could get the whole party in trouble. Like, you're just talking about me doing mechanics that are annoying for you to have to sort through.
Yes. That's specifically, you're making trouble for me as the GM.
Right. So, as this was a question addressed to Zach, I think he gets to define the terms as he sees them.
Well, then I don't want to hear shit about arguing semantics.
Yeah, no, that's the point. Is just let me say it, and then we move on.
So what were the
anyway? I think that John will be the mom. Emily will be the RPer. I'm not really sure how Josh is going to handle Fly Free or Die yet. We'll just have to see. As of yet,
I
undefined.
thought you were going to say that I was the troublemaker.
No, you're the rules lawyer.
The rules
terms
lawyer.
Of that,
okay.
yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah, I definitely will be that.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm going to need that because God knows I don't know all the rules. 2 years into this thing, I still don't know all the rules.
Yeah,
just
so
make it up as I go.
To kind of piggyback off of that question, Bipolar Pop-Tart just asked, rolling off of this, who do you think is going to be the one to make the batshit insane decision in a pivotal moment?
I've already answered that question, Heath.
I think that's. I don't
you're
think
so
that,
far
The thing
off.
is, no, dude, you won't know that it's batshit insane. This is a cool character moment for me, and it'll make something.
well, and I don't think
insanely
you should be
difficult.
like so like opposed to having that attributed to you, Heath. That's what you do. You're the fucking wild card that like makes shit happen. You know what
That's
I mean?
fine.
Like,
I mean, it's fine. I just think you're both so biased in terms of like relating it to GMing, not like narrative. You know?
I mean,
I can answer.
yeah, of course we are because we're your GM. Like that's without a doubt coloring our experience and our answers to this question. You know, because it's being asked from a GM perspective. You know,
Yep.
so like,
All right. So anyway, next question.
Yeah, it's going to be the last question for the evening, I believe. Porter Paladin asks, how difficult is it to manage your character's equipment? Do you ever find yourself forgetting to upgrade an item that has become under-leveled? This is to everybody.
I try to stay on top of my gear, but I mean, I'm definitely letting my my Solarian weapon crystal slip on Orin because, damn, those things are expensive, dude.
They ain't
They get pricey.
yeah,
Yeah.
So-
I mean,
well, it's because you don't have to buy a weapon. So
Right. Exactly.
I mean, weapon crystals aside, I have the exact same problem. Like I would love to keep up with everything I could, but I just can't afford it.
yeah, that's like the weird push and pull of the Starfinder economy, right? Like you can really only level up your gear once every 3 levels because it takes about 3 levels to get the funds you need for the next upgrade. So you have to like buy the best set of armor you can get at when you do, and then that's got to carry you for 3 levels. Weapons, you'll tend to find drops on those a little bit more. You know, you might find something that, but it doesn't matter as much because that scales up with your character abilities. But your armor doesn't really. So you'll be sitting pretty at like level 6, but come 10, you feel like really exposed on your armor. You know, like that's how I'm feeling right now with Weldy. We just hit, and as again, that's the only thing that I can relate to. But like, I started off strong with the armor because Emily gave us like a little extra money than that we would normally have just to kind of give us some things. But now, like, I wasn't able to upgrade his armor this time around with the upgrade because I spent it on other stuff. And, you know, I'm sitting at a 14 at level 4. Like, I'm going to get hit most of the time right now, you know, and it's going to have to be next level when I upgrade my armor. And it's a whole level of getting the shit knocked out of you, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, I've found as a player, mostly I don't upgrade the items themselves. You know, I'm more looking for drops. Any loot that drops is likely going to be my next upgrade if it's, you know, applicable to my character. And it's been that way for pretty much every tabletop game that I've played. Maybe it's just a me thing. The not liking spending however much or however many credits or however much gold on whatever item. But I feel that chances are I'm going to find something eventually that replaces, you know, my club with, you know, some sort of badass battle axe or something. I don't know.
Well, and you've gotten lucky on some good armor drops, like
for sure
from the get go, because you know you're the only other one that could do heavy armor, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and so like Mike, his whole build is about making his own armor, so he was oftentimes like foregoing any heavy armor drops. So you got that Aeon.
Yeah,
armor,
I mean,
like, right out the gate, you know, like.
I mean, I can't help but take to the General Grievous board that like crafting is bullshit in Starfinder. Like,
Well,
there's
no
no
than buying, you know.
That's bullshit.
Right.
People
right.
who make things do it cheaper than going and buying that product. That is what crafting is. Like, unless you're just building spaceships, you know. But like, crafting should be cheaper than just buying an outright set.
Yeah, the only benefits to crafting is that repairing anything that you craft is cheaper. But that's like doesn't feel like enough. I agree with you, Heath, that it doesn't. Crafting could be better in Starfinder. It doesn't.
Well, and it's like it'd be. I would accept for the time being, because I'm so mad about crafting, if I could, like, say I get an armor drop, nobody wants to use it, let me use its full value in, not credits, but in UPVs, right? But it's still 10%. Like, I can only convert 10% of a piece of armor to help build a piece of armor.
All right. So to make you feel better tonight, this was something I've already been thinking. I'm going to go ahead and tell you now here live on, because it's alive, is that was already my plan to do for you. That if you take an armor and decide to like convert armor specifically for UPVs for armor, you can get it at cost. Like you can trade that armor in, because essentially what the game wants you to do is keep changing armor. It's like Destiny in that sense, is that you just keep waiting to get the better armor, and you replace your armor and you replace your weapons. Like that's the loot mode of Starfinder, but like
it's a gear treadmill.
Yeah.
Right. Then don't make crafting a thing.
Well, but that's the thing is like I think that we can make it work without, it's not breaking the economy of the game, is that if you want to convert armor into armor specific UPVs so you can make the armor that you want, then like I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
And that's like already something that I was going to do going forward.
Well, I mean, and that's,
I've been
I like
thinking about it a lot,
I mean, I like the specificity of it. It's like, you can't just convert armor UPVs and make a big gun. Right. It's got to be specifically armor, but like that makes sense. Like they would have very similar parts, very similar mechanisms, and like, since, I mean, I started the game with very little knowledge about Starfinder, but I knew crafting was a thing. So I was like, okay, well, I want to be a crafter, but specifically I want to be an armor crafter.
Right.
Like, he's not a weapon crafter. Mike doesn't make weapons, and he never has. Like, he just makes armor because that's what he's good at.
Mike has been all about the gear treadmill when it comes to weapons. He's carried every weapon that's been in the game at some point. I'll carry 5 weapons
at a time. It's fine. But I want to make my own armor. Like, I don't want to ever wear an armor that I didn't make, because that's special to Mike. That's personal to him, And so I should be able to do that.
Right. I agree.
Well, cool. I fully support that decision.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that wraps up the listener questions for tonight.
Wow.
Thank you for your questions, everyone.
There's some good questions in there for sure. Somebody threw some spice into the pot with some of those questions, and I like it. I'm here for it. I like it.
All right. Well, I reckon that's it, huh?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're excited to be here. Thanks for coming on the show and joining us, Zach, as the GM of Live and Let Fly upcoming, and just the man behind Orin Vance. And thanks for all our listeners for being here. We've got exciting stuff coming up in the future that we're all really excited about, and hope you will be too.
Yeah, absolutely. Indeed. Thanks for having
me,
guys.
Summer 2021 blockbuster, Live and Let Fly.
$6 billion.
$6 billion opening weekend.
Avengers what?
Yeah, huh?
All right. Well, I guess there's only one thing left to say, guys.
We'll see you.
We'll see
you.
Yeah, we'll see you.
Right.